creating and managing guidance lines on a Pro 1200. So in the combine, we are looking at our second display, which is the top one. Looking at our main map screen. The top button up here is what we're going to use to create a guidance line, the sideways S. So I can pick new, I can do straight, which is an AB, I can do heading, curve, pivot, spiral, field swap. Most of us are going to use headings. So at this point, I can now tap on north, east, west, south, northeast, or I can punch in a manual number here if I want to go 95 degrees, for example, on an angle. Let's just say we're going to go east. I apply. Now it's asking me, because I'm in AccuSync, sharing with other combines, you can see I'm in a job. It's asked me if I want to add this to the job. So basically share it with the other combines. So if I'm just doing a angle, little corner or something, maybe I don't want to share that one. But if it's one of the main lines, I go yes, and I add that line to the job. At this point, I can go in and I can hit on manage, and I can see I got two lines in here, and they're named heading, and then they got some random numbers after it. That'd be the date. So the 17th day of June 2025 is the first one. Now, I've already shared that with the other combines. So if I go in and click on this and I edit the name, it'll only be edited on my combine. So in this example, what I may have wanted to do when I created a new line, and I hit apply, do I want to add this to the AccuSync job? I can hit no. Then I can go into my lines, I can hit manage. I can delete this out. And I can call this yard NS, yard north south, and apply. Now, if I want to add that to the line or to the job, now that I've renamed it, I can go into my silo, my field button, I can scroll down to my AccuSync, and I can add swaths. Okay, so this one I shared automatically just as a heading number. That could get confusing if you got a bunch of guys trying to figure out which line to make. But this one's named, so that one's pretty straightforward, so I can highlight that and I can hit add. Once swaths have been added to a job, they cannot be deleted from a job. Do you want to proceed? Yes. So now I have two guidance lines saved to that job. So now if we come back to our main run screen, if I highlight select, I can now switch between my guidance lines. So heading that I made, that's my east-west line that I didn't rename. Yard north-south. Or the heading I made a week ago. But that line select button works really nice. But is beneficial to rename before you add. Depending how many guys you have and what system you have, it'll make it a lot easier for figuring out which line you need. You can also hit the drop down and select your line from the list this way. And have those lines in there, the north-south line. Now, once we engage, it'll paint. The only way to run your auto guidance, there's no way to engage on the screen, so you have to use the engage button on the multifunction handle, and it will only work if your separator and feeder are running. So if you're testing guidance, everything has to be running. That's something new. On the previous combines, you could engage on the screen without the separator and feeder running, but that is different.